Alrighty, tubers, I got an interesting one for you here today. Model number. Let's see, where is the model number? Not seeing a model number. These were built. This was built in 2018. This is a propane powered 700 running watt, 900 starting or peak propane powered Ryobi generator. I believe they were made by a different company as well. All the same generator, but kind of an interesting one. They've discontinued these. Put the primer on the opposite side, which just lets a little bit of fuel into the intake. Kind of a cool one. Really quiet. I'm gonna pull the cover off the opposite side. I want to do just a checkup on it. Just came across Facebook Marketplace for a good price, so I decided to go ahead and grab it. Got a few other generators I'm going to sell, and this will replace a couple other ones, but kind of an interesting one. I've never seen a little propane power generator like this. Not one that has an area for a tank to actually go onto. I've seen them where you had to set a big tank next to it, but never quite like this. Just trying to figure out. So nothing on this side. You can see the engine there and the regulator. That's what the primer button does, is you're actually opening up the regulator and allowing fuel to go through and into the intake. Let's see, let's go ahead and take the other side off. I figured it would be the opposite side, but it's not. I don't know if this has ever been opened, if it's ever been checked or oil changed. Really deceiving. Propane powered things, the oil stays really clean looking. It can be many years old and still be kind of a golden color. Propane it's a very clean burning fuel, and it causes it to not dirty the oil. Still needs to be changed every so many hours. Not sure what the interval is on this, but I'd imagine it's close to the same as their other generators, every 100 hours or whatnot. This has very little to no smell as well while it's running. There you go. Alright, got dipstick on this side where the pull string is. Pull this guy out. Bet you it's really clean. Again, not sure if it's ever been changed. With it being so clean, you never know. I have no idea how many hours this thing was used. Dipstick has, like, the oil has no smell to it. It doesn't smell like old oil. So propane oil really, when you have a propane engine, it really doesn't smell. So most people don't know, Hondas are the same way. Most of the time when you have a threaded cap like this, you do not screw it in to check the oil. You just put it in, take it back out. We're about halfway there. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain out this oil and put in some good high quality, what is it, 10W30 full synthetic. So I'm gonna do that by just pouring it out. Pour it right out of the dipstick tube. So I imagine it's clean. It's got a little bit of color, but really it's pretty well clean. But it's cheap insurance to just do an oil change on it. Know how old it is. Tip it over here, make sure it's all coming out. Okay. No metal shavings, which is good. Metal shavings usually come up as kind of a gray color in your oil. This has none, which is a great sign. if that oil had a lot of hours on it, the engine's in good shape. And if it didn't, it's still in relatively good shape. Those metal shavings kind of stay stuck in the oil. You have to do like 2 or 3 oil changes in order to get all the metal shavings out. Anyways, I'm going to use some 10W30 AMS oil. Just going to pour it right in, see if we can do it without a funnel, without spilling everywhere. Looks like we are successful. I would be using a funnel, but I couldn't find my clean funnel, so. Uh-oh. I believe I just put too much oil in it. I believe I just put way too much oil in it. Wasn't paying attention how much oil I was putting in or how much came out. Very little came out, so. Fortunately, I'm going to have to pour some of that new oil out of there. Let's try that. You can see the color difference though between the brand new stuff with 0 runtime on it and the stuff that came out. It had some amount of hours or years on it at least. Let's move that up again. Go ahead and dip the dipstick here. We poured out too much. Okay, let's try this again. This thing holds so little oil. Stop there. That was a very small amount. Looks like it's starting to come up the tube, which is good. Dip our dipstick here about halfway, a little lower than it was. I'm going to pour just a smidge more in. These are a splash lubrication type engines, I'm guessing. Very little bit. I'm talking like that was another maybe ounce of oil into it. You can see it right here at the top of the threads. I think we're going to be good with that. Yeah, we're at the top of the dipstick. So I think we're going to call it there. Screw this back down. Make sure we clean up all the spilt oil. And we are going to plug this guy into something and load it down, let it run for a little bit. The propane tank that's currently on it has about half a tank worth, so it's a tank that came with it. I'm gonna go ahead and get these covers put back on here, and we will come back as we start it up and load it down for the first time. Just realized I forgot to check the air filter with you guys. Air filter just right here behind the big screw. You can use a flathead or a Phillips, number 2 Phillips. That pops off. And there's your air filter. Pulls air in through the bottom right here. Pulls it up through so you'll see all the dirt here. There's a little bit of schmutz on there. And really, these should have a little bit of oil on them. This has nothing at all. I'm just gonna dip it in the oil over here. Should have just a smidge of oil on them. That's how they are going to catch the dirt. If you don't have oil, you're not going to catch as much as you should. Of course, from the factory, they don't put oil on them, so it's enough to squish out of it now, and then take a rag and bundle it up and squish out as much as you can. This will protect the engine better than just having a dry air filter in there. If you want to go above and beyond, you do go down to a motorcycle shop and get some air filter tack. stuff that's really, really tacky for air filters. You put that on it, but if you don't want to do that, just some light grade oil will work just fine. So, and when it gets dirty, you just take some soap. Some people even take gasoline in the olden days. I'm sure people still do that when they use oil. You can take gasoline and clean it too, but you just take some dish detergent or whatever, wash it up, make sure it's totally dry, and then you soak it down. And a little bit of oil again. So let's go ahead and put this guy back together and go plug it in, load it down. All right. Go ahead and get this guy started up. Push the primer here. Push it for 2-3 seconds. If it starts and shuts off, that means you're not pushing it quite long enough. And just go for a second start. It's really quiet. Pretty cool. Not sure if you can hear me over it, but it runs pretty good. This runs a few things in my storage unit, and it's handling it just fine. The tag on the side of it says it will idle at 3,500 RPM and can rev up all the way up to 5,000 RPM depending on the load on the generator. So pretty cool. I think that's going to end it here, guys. Just a really quick how-to on how to maintain one of these propane Ryobi generators. I've never seen one. I don't know if I've even seen one on YouTube. They might be out there. I haven't really searched too much on YouTube, but they were discontinued, unfortunately. But I have one, and I'm kind of glad I do. Don't have to worry about dirty carburetors. Start it up and use it. Pretty sweet. Tell me what you guys think in the description. Would you want something like this? Should they have discontinued it? I don't know. I never really saw them out there. I never really saw them for sale. So was it a failure of not promoting it enough? Or was it a failure due to the lack of demand? I like it though. I'm glad I have one. Be great for camping, dry camping, going up and charging cell phones up, or going out and playing with your RC cars and running your charger or chargers off of this guy. I think it would do beautifully. But see you, tubers. You have a good one. Bye.